The License Portal is a tool that we built using Ignition and the Perspective module to allow you to manage your licenses, see your certification status, see your quotes and invoices, and a lot more. There are two ways to access the License Portal. First is through the integrator account. You can go down to the Tools section and you click on the link to manage licenses. Or you can go into your browser and type licenses.inductiveautomation.com. We log into it the same way that we do with the integrator account. Simply use our Inductive Automation account. So when you first come into License Manager, you can see an overview of all of your licenses and the state of those licenses. And you have links on the left-hand side over here to go into different sections. The main use of the License Manager is to see and manage all the licenses you have associated with your account. So if we go into the Licenses tab, this is where we can actually see a listing of all licenses that we have. On the right-hand side, I can actually search for specific licenses by license key, by location, by the status or role, the edition of Ignition, the contract status, procurement type, license type, tags, and a lot more. So for example, if I want to search for a license with a particular license key, I can type in a part of that key, press enter, and it will filter that list. You can click on a license key to see more details of that key. On the right-hand side, you can see the edition of Ignition, the version, the type of license that it is. You can see the status of it, whether or not it's available or if it's an emergency trial. You can see the redundancy status, if it's part of a contract. You can see the customer that it's associated with. And down the bottom, you can see all the modules that are inside that license and the parameters for those modules. And you can see the activation history here as well. So the last times that it was activated, unactivated, any of those. Now, one of the big pieces that we can do in License Portal is to be able to manage licenses and add additional context to those licenses. And we can do that by setting a location, we can add notes to a license, and we can provide tags. So the location piece here allows us to associate licenses with different locations we have in our company. And we can actually edit those locations in the Location Management tab on the left-hand side. But let's say I want to associate this license key with our Inductive Automation headquarters. I'd select that and save it, and now that license is part of that location. If we go back to the overview screen, we can actually see all the licenses that we have by the location we've associated with it. So we can get that distribution of where our licenses are within our company. In addition to the location, we can add notes to a license. So this is anything you want to associate, any notes you want to add that provide additional details on that license. So this license is for our development team for the online demo. And I can save that and associate that with the license. You can also add arbitrary tags to licenses that provide more context to that license, and of course those tags are searchable. So for example, you could add the serial number of the machine that the license is associated with, or any information like that. So I'm gonna tag this with something. And by doing that, I can see that tag in the list, and that is also searchable. So if I go back to my filter, I come here to the tag section and select something, I can find all licenses that are associated with that particular tag. In this section, we can also export all the data to a CSV, and we can print the license certificate. This is the software license certificate that's provided by Inductive Automation to show you all the details of what's inside that license. Another feature that the License Manager provides is the ability to reset licenses. You can contact your account executive to get access to this permission. So here I can see that I have a license in emergency trial. With that, I have the ability to reset that license, especially let's say it happens over the weekend, the customer server crashes, and you need to get that customer up and running again on a new server. So I click on the reset, provide a reason, and those reasons are sent back to Inductive Automation to validate that they're used for proper purposes. You can manage both 6 character keys and 8 character keys in the License Manager. For 8 character keys, you can actually generate new activation tokens, you can see all the sessions that are currently active, and you can invalidate individual sessions. The Location Management section is where you can define the locations that you can assign to licenses. So here we can identify new locations, and we can also, of course, edit existing ones, providing a name and actual address for that location. You can also see the amount of licenses associated with each of those locations. The next 2 sections allow you to see your invoices and quotes that were generated through Inductive Automation. The invoices section allows you to see all the invoices that you have associated with your account. You can see invoices that have been paid, and of course invoices that you need to pay. For all of them, you can view the invoice PDF and you can export that out. For invoices that you need to pay, you click on the link here to actually take you right over to pay that invoice through a credit card. If you want to use a PO, you can actually provide that PO to Inductive Automation by clicking on the plus icon here to add the PO number and upload the PO document. that will then send it to Inductive Automation so we can use that PO. This is a great way to see all the invoices that you have with Inductive Automation. Just like invoices, you can see all the quotes you have with Inductive Automation as well. Here's a listing of all the quotes that we have, and we can see when those quotes are going to expire. We can see if that quote has been converted to an invoice, of course what that total amount is, and we can view the PDF of that quote and export that out. Along with seeing your invoices, it's nice to get statistics on what you're purchasing with Inductive Automation. The sales stats screen allows you to see the history of all your orders. And being integrated, you can see where you're at in the top 100 listing. You can see your current status, and you can see the rankings you had for each month prior. Another important part of License Manager is to be able to see your certification status and really get fine-grained details on where people are at with the Inductive University and how many people are certified, especially by different locations. The certification section allows you to see what your current certification status is. And you can see the breakdown by how many people you have that are credentialed, core certified, gold certified, and you can see that breakdown by location. And also you can see all the developers you have in your organization and what their current status is for IU and their certification. If you need help accessing the License Manager, contact your account executive and they'll make sure to get that set up for you. They'll also make you an administrator of the account. And in the License Manager, you can actually associate different permissions you want for all the people in your organization. So in this section, we can see each user that you have in your organization. As administrator, you can manage all the users and their permissions for what access they have to the License Manager. So here I can actually edit each individual user and specify what those permissions are. And those permissions range from being able to manage the tags and location and notes of a license, to being able to reset licenses, view invoices, view certifications, as well as to be able to manage users and permissions itself. If you don't see the user in the list, you can simply click on the Add User link to select that user from the drop-down list, specify the permissions, and add them. If you don't see the user, make sure they have an Inductive Automation account and that they're associated with your integrator profile. If you're managing a lot of licenses, there is the ability to do a quick search so you can get right to a license you're interested in looking at. Simply type in the license key in the quick search box, press enter, and it will pull up that license key. Another feature of the License Manager is the ability for integrators to purchase licenses. You can contact your account executive to set up your profile. Once your profile is set up, you can go into the Licenses section and click on the Generate License button. There, you can specify your end user, their shipping address. You can specify if you want Ignition or Ignition Edge. So for example, if I choose the Ignition Basic package, I can specify my location, my notes, my tags. I can see what the price is. And if I get any discounts, I can add that down here and I can purchase that license using a PO or with a credit card. The License Manager is an amazing self-service tool that is at your disposal. We highly encourage you to take advantage of it because you can manage all licenses you have here, see all the quotes and invoices, and stay connected with Inductive Automation and your sales rep.